297. Some of those amongst you demand special signs, evidence, for themselves of the truth and the primal wellspring creation, so that they may believe. But the truth is not belief, nor does the primal wellspring creation send special signs, evidence, for the individual who demands them, because truly all existence of all earth worlds/planets and firmaments universe, all animals and other creatures and all people of your kind, human beings, as well as the existence of all life and all stars in the firmaments universe, are immeasurable signs, marvels, of the presence of the primal wellspring creation, and whoever may grasp it, grasps it. 298. Never be haughty with your next ones, and live in selflessness with everyone and with yourself. Do not strive for renown and fame, because otherwise you will fall victim to megalomania, selfishness and wanting to appear to be more than you are, as well as the worship and senselessness performed by others who bow down to pay you homage, glorify you. 299. And whoever amongst you is ill or has a suffering in the head consciousness/psyche, should expunge this by seeking the help of people who are knowledgeable in medicine if he cannot help himself. But if you are not ill and without suffering, then be thankful and benevolent and give alms gifts to those who are ill and full of suffering and who are unable to put themselves in the care of those knowledgeable in medicine for healing. 300. If there is a place somewhere where the teaching of truth, the teaching of spirit, the teaching of life is taught in a real and truthful way, then make a journey there and learn the teaching of truth so that you may be knowing and equitable ones, fair ones/responsible ones, and no blame will be put on you for doing this. And if you want to make the journey, then you shall think about not conducting any hateful talk, nor permitting yourself any breach of the laws and recommendations of creation, and no strife either. 301. The good that you do on the journey is seen by those who are with you. Therefore provide yourself with the necessary victuals so that you can also nourish those who are in need and do not have any victuals for the journey to the place of the teaching of truth. But truly, consider that the best victual at all times is righteousness, conscientiousness. 302. And when you return from the place of the teaching of truth to your dwelling, then think about the teaching of truth, the proclaimers, the prophets, so that you will keep it in yourself and be well led by it. And this applies even if you were previously one of those who had gone astray, before you imbibed the teaching of truth in yourself. 303. Always think about the teaching of truth of the prophets for all time, but you do not bring down any guilt on yourself if you nevertheless fail on one or another occasion, because this is the path of learning. Therefore it is given that you are also fallible in the knowledge of truth, in order to learn from it. But in this sense only be fallible in what concerns your thinking and feeling and in your nature, as well as in understanding and actions. Do not, however, be guilty ones in your fallibility, because the idea of the guilty ones is to do evil and illegal things deliberately in order to advantage themselves and to obtain unlawful gain from it. 304. Believers in a God-ordained God say that their God-ordained God may bestow good on them in this world and good in the future world, and they beg in blind submissiveness that their God-ordained God may save them from the anguish of the fire of the shadow world, hell, and its princes. However, neither a God nor a tin God is truly given, because they are only imaginary forms which are fabulated, invented by yourselves without responsibility, and which have no might even to make a single hair on your head turn gray. And therefore the shadow world, hell, and its fire, and the prince of the shadow world, prince of hell, are only inventions by irresponsible and dishonorable ones amongst you who have fallen victim to a delusion of belief, as well as their own might which they wish to wield over you in order to obtain great gain of all kinds from it. And therefore the shadow world, hell, is no place, because truly it is a state in your head consciousness, and a mentality, thoughts, feelings and psyche. 305. If you obey your God or tin gods in your belief, then you will receive your share according to your belief and its merit. then consider that it is not a god or a tin god which accomplishes the things that you believe, but only the might of your thoughts and your inner world consciousness. 306. When you think about the truth of formation creation, and its laws and recommendations and are loyally connected to them, then you do not bring down any guilt upon yourself. When you follow the laws and recommendations and oppose evil, falsehood and inequity and fairness, in order to pay tribute to the truth, and do not be afraid of evil and falsehood or of inequity and fairness, but trust in your knowledge of the truth so that you make use of it and gather like-minded ones about you. 307. Many have gathered amongst you whose words about this life appeal to many of you, and who like to be led into confusion through their beliefs and words when the delusional leaders speak in the name of a false truth and of a delusional belief and misuse them for lies and deception, and for their evil doings they even take the formation creation to be witness and call on it. However, they are living and affecting in lies and deception, and what is in them is only cantankerous squabbling and malicious delusional leading of those who listen to them. And when they have the might, then they go about the country fomenting dispeace, hatred and battles war, against all those who are of another belief and another skin color as well as of another race and other peoples, and they are trapped in their self-opinionated attitude, fanaticism, and fervor, and in their false and stubborn conviction, and against all right and all responsibility. They spread threats and give out. And they also lay waste to the seed and the fruits of the field, just as they also commit bloody deeds, murder, and atrocities, and destroy your works and homes. But truly, the laws and recommendations of the formation creation do not teach such doings, but love and peace as well as freedom and harmony and equitableness, fairness. And if they are told, they should be afraid when you recognize their evil doings and be afraid that they may be called to account. Then their pride and their irrationality drives them to further guilt which they will have to carry and will demand a reckoning from them sooner or later, whether through themselves or by authority or jurisdiction, and they are unknowing ones and ones without equitableness, unfair ones / irresponsible ones / inequitable ones, in whose thoughts and feelings and in whose psyche the shadow world hell blazes as reward. And truly this inner condition is a bad state and of destructive nature. 308. And truly, many of those amongst you would sell themselves or their mothers in the striving of belief for their god or tin gods. But each one among you is waiting in vain for your god or tin gods and their favor and the goodness for you, because gods and tin gods are powerless inventions of your own which you want to use to turn everyone else into your servants and / helpers. 309. And all of you who are living in belief in your god or tin gods, not only are you approaching them entirely in total devotion, but are also following the footsteps of the delusional leaders who truly are your manifest enemies and are only using you to obtain their own gains. 310. You will always take part in your false belief, and its merit that is directed, regulated, according to what you are hoping and wishing for yourselves, because all of fulfillment lies in your inner world consciousness, through the might of which you direct and call forth everything and make yourselves into what you are. 311. The prophets have given you signs, evidence, of the real truth and of the true existence of creation and of its laws and recommendations, but you turn away from the clear signs, evidence, that have come to you through the prophets and have been given by creation since the existence of the earth's worlds / planets, and the firmament's universe, and are ever present. You shall, however, not turn away, but be knowing in the truth and in the laws and recommendations of creation, so that you may be full of equitableness, fairness / responsibility. 312. And heed the teaching of truth, which teaches you to uphold all virtues and be honorable in their fulfillment, because according to them you will be assessed as people of your kind, human beings. By people of your kind, human beings, however, anyone who lives without virtue is debasing themselves and making themselves into an outcast and degenerate one.